Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. Thank you for being here, hanging out with me, spending some of your Tuesday afternoon with me on 412 Productions. Jump into chat wherever you're watching. We'll say hi to as many of you as I can, and then we'll get this started. We got a good one today. Craig Mason of Reasonable TV going to be joining us in hour number 2. So very excited to catch up with him. And I think we'll have Drunk Pinata riding shotgun with me. Tien is taking today and tomorrow off. He's got some stuff he needs to catch up on. So it's going to be mostly me and Pinata carrying the OG part of the show for this week. But yeah, let's see who's out there. Useless Cran Eater. I like that name. Good to see you. Q-Boys, Lucy Anders, Singing Wind. Welcome to all you guys over on D Live. We're on Rumble as well. I see Hang 10 Alien Surfer, Norm over there. What's up, Norm? Joe Elaine, of course, keeping it super comfy. Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you for all you do. And yeah, let's see who's in the comfy bunker. Jump on into chat. Say hello. Sorry, I got to scroll all the way up here. Lightspear, Lance, how you doing, man? Always in there first these days. Delia, right behind. Same with Floyd, Due Diligence. Good to see all you guys. Patriot 714, welcome and good to see you. HL Paco in the house. There's Joe Elaine doing her mod thing. Thank you again, Joe. Appreciate you bouncing around, keeping everything in order for us. Kang Chris with a THC cookie for the relaxing bones. Right on. Thank you for the cookie, Chris. Appreciate it. And kicking off our gold pills today. So thank you for breaking the seal, my friend. Let's see who else is out there. D. Richard, what's up, D. Richard? Floyd with a monster Taco Tuesday cookie. That sounds amazing. Sounds absolutely amazing. R. Harrell in the house. Good to see you. General Buford, what's up, General Buford? Good to see you as well. Cali Patriot 14, Space Cookie, welcome you guys. Hey, there's Barb Robbins. What's up, Barb? How are you today? And good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. Hang 10, double dipping. Good to see you in the comfy bunker, Norm. Roy Stones and Bones over on the West Coast. What's up, Roy? Looney Tune 17. Good to see you out there. Jenker 2 in the house as well. And Crockett Man 62. What's up, Crockett Man? Welcome. Let's see who else. Pip's mom checking in from Wales over in the UK. Across the pond. Good to see you. Shout out to all of our Patriots watching abroad today. Jeff Den to the north up in Canada. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, sir? Oh, man. Joe Elaine, thank you for the cookie. Appreciate that. Left Maryland. Good to see you. Bassist LV, Las Vegas. Let's go. What's up, man? Left Maryland, thank you for the cookie. Looney Tune. So you should get Maxon on to come on since no T and Homesteader. I think Max is gonna come on Friday, but if you're out there listening, if you want to jump in today, that's totally fine. I'll be up for having you along for the ride. I think Max actually sent me a text earlier, and I didn't really get a chance to respond to it, so that's on me. But I think Max will definitely be here on Friday's show. We'll get that squared away. But Max, if you are out there listening and you want to jump into today's show, you're more than welcome. Let's see. Mad Joker, Kim Ha, what's up, guys? Good to see you. Idaho Vet, Filter Dog 1, welcome. Hey, Two-Way Freedom Rider, hooking us up with the ship, repping the 412. Let's go. Thank you, Two-Way. Appreciate that. Very generous little donation there to start the show. Smoked 78. Good to see you. Kim Ha, Captain McMuffin, Born Deplorable. What's up, guys? PNW Sasquatch in the house. Vanita 71, Silent Warrior, Kaz 1012. The Steel Monkey hooking us up with a cookie. Thank you, Monkey. Appreciate that. A from PA. Hey, how did everything go last weekend? Aren't you supposed to be like on your honeymoon? What are you doing here? You should be on like a beach somewhere, away from reality. Away from all this bullshit happening. No, in all seriousness, A from PA, it's great to see you. I hope your wedding was absolutely lovely. And it is good to see you in the chat. Henry 4570, Snow Bunny, and always in Texas. DX M1911, Zoom, Incorruptible Guardian, Gail MJ. What's up, you guys? Good to see you. What's up, Biatch? Good to see you as well. Packers 412, Lyle, Jenny. I hope you guys are having a great day. Target Driver, good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Again, it's great to be with you all. I hope you're all having. It says he showed up, honeymoon to come. Missed you all too much. Yeah, well, we love you, A from PA. It's great to see you in the chat. And I'm glad everything went well. I'm glad he showed up. That would have been not so great had that not been the case. Russian Bot, there's an OG. Good to see you, Russian Bot. Dread Quarters, Cynthia, Mix Picks, Spirit 554, Wisconsin on Canada. Hey, what's up, you guys? So good to see y'all. It's top of the 4 o'clock hour. We should probably start the show, huh? The Universe OG in the house. What's up? The whole universe is here. Seaside Lady, where we go one, we go all. TGTG, good to see you as well. Silbor, Morning Flower, John Q. Good to see you guys over there in the mosh pit on D Live. Thank you guys again, all of you, for being here. Filter Dog 1. Does your shirt say Erection Athletics? That's fucking funny. No, it says Eruption, like a volcano, Eruption Athletics. But I see where your head's at there, Filter Dog. All right, let's get this show started. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. We addicted to MSM and now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the flight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they can find. They're just slaves in the system to the roles they're assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful. Then you're gone. But not us. We're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right, knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
Do this. Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for being here for another installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adel Nero. It is April 23rd, 2024. And riding shotgun with me today is my very good friend, Drunk Pinata. Pinata, happy Tuesday, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully everyone is doing all right out there.
Yeah, man, it's great always to be hanging out with you on the stream. How was Thinking Logically today?
Pretty good. We got some movement in the documents case. Julie Kelly kind of went through things, and we kind of see that there was a lot more communication between the Biden White House and NARA and the National Archive Records Administration in reference, in particular, to there was a liaison from the as Trump's liaison, sort of in the vein of the representative enforcing and going through and complying with the Presidential Records Act. So a lot of stuff was covered up within and redacted within a lot of these different filings from Jack Smith, and so they've redacted. Judge Cannon has released those unredacted, and it shows that there's a lot more coordination of them trying to set Trump up through this, and it also explains why they definitely didn't mention the Presidential Records Act in any of their charging documents and any of their filings. The only time they do mention it is to say that it should not apply when it absolutely should. It is the first thing that should be applied here. It is a civil matter. It is not a criminal statute, and it shows there's just a lot of discussion about that part of it, where it was in the civil realm before it got referred to a criminal matter, which it should never have got there. And the only reason he was able to even go there is because the Biden administration had to waive an executive privilege for them to even do that, to get to that point. So
Yeah.
just more, it's still kind of developing. I haven't seen the mainstream news media touch it yet, but only to say that, and Walt Nauta said that he would get a pardon or something like that. So they focus on one aspect of it, the one that they can use to smear or imply some sort of a criminal intent.
Right.
So that's the only mention I've seen thus far. So I'm still kind of waiting for people with a little bit more time than myself to actually distill this development down. But from what I understand, it's not good for Jack Smith.
It's not good for Jack Smith for sure, but it's also the coordination element of this of like the Biden White House. Like we've seen it now with Fannie Willis. I'm sure there's coordination with Alvin Bragg and Letitia James as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you have Matthew Colangelo, who's one of the lawyers speaking in Trump's trial, literally came from the number 3 position of the DOJ. So he left that just to go down to this low district attorney's office just to lead this case. But they say, well, there's no Joe Biden is not involved in this at all. Well, I believe you when you say Joe Biden is not involved in this, but it's his administration. So
Right.
they need to be able to, articulate that a little bit better, because a lot of times they'll say it's Joe Biden is doing this. Biden is doing this. No, these people have been around enough, especially when they're going on TV. They need to be able to articulate that it's the Biden administration is doing these things, not Biden directly, because it's a cop out that the media can use. Because obviously we even would agree that Joe Biden is not the one doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe Biden, I mean, like you and I have as much to do with anything going on as he does right now. He's a senile puppet being worked and controlled by many other people behind the scenes. I think that's fairly obvious. We use the Biden name just to kind of put a face to the administration behind him. But it shows the politicization of the DOJ and whatnot in a big way. When you see the coordination across all of these different indictments against all of these different trials and cases, it's so clearly and so obviously election interference. The timing of it, the way that they're rolling this out and trying to work them off each other. It's a bad look. It's a really bad look, and it sounds like what's being released by Cannon or being unsealed by Judge Cannon is going to show that even further than we've already seen. So at least as far as the narrative goes and the PR level of all of this, I feel like it's going to be damaging, at least in the eyes of anyone that's fair-minded or understands why it's a big deal. Unfortunately, I think there's a fairly big, portion of the population that wouldn't really care or understand why that's a big deal. But as more and more of this comes out, hopefully more people can really see all this for what it is.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they will. The other two things would be um, the Supreme Court is asking for some very, very specific opinions in regards to the January 6th defendant case that was
Yeah,
brought.
I've got an
And
article on that. We're gonna
so it
start.
looks pretty, what people are surmising that from what they're asking, it seems to be favorable that they will actually dismiss this or it will rule in the defendant's favor. Which they should. I mean, they're basically taking like like 5 words of a statute and it's not even close to being applicable or for the purposes of this, just to weasel it in as being a charge. And so obviously that has implication into for Donald Trump as well, with the other Jack Smith case. But the other thing would be with the trial for the supposed hush money payments or the criminal conspiracy that is this catch and kill scheme. I don't know about you, but I schemed and colluded um, to go to the grocery store yesterday, and it turns out they also were within the scheme, of which I had to pay for groceries in order to positively influence my health by consuming nourishment. It's like they keep throwing these words around. It's like it's a scheme, criminal conspiracy, election interference is a crime. Is it? And then they keep saying it's election fraud. I'm like, no, election fraud happens at the administrative level of people who are administering the elections. That's election fraud. That there's so they're using it's like any of the terms that they've misused and over the years that don't mean anything anymore because they're using them outside of what's intended. I mean, it's
Right.
different than the way that they use like racist or whatever, because that's lost its meaning just because they say everything is that. But
Mhm.
here, it's everything is this, everything is that. So I guess maybe it eventually it will become that. But for now, it's like I don't think you understand what that word means. It's very very predictable. So they're kind of going through and going over the schemes that they say, like I said, just the buzzwords over and over and over again, never even getting to any underlying crime. So there's even in their own coverage, they're reduced to never talk about what that crime is. Now, and you can't tell me they had 4 to pick from. 3 of them were New York statutes. 3 of them, 3. And they couldn't find one that he violated. They had to say he intended to violate. Okay, but you make it seem like he did violate it. So where it'll be interesting when the trial as we go through how it gets picked apart. But from what I've seen, they're running around in circles because they understand that this thing's a dud. And I've seen some shows like The Daily Show and others that are already starting to give that permission structure for people to make fun of this, that it's not to be taken seriously, that's you know what I mean? So kind of
I saw some
giving
clip.
them a release valve for when it doesn't go their way, which is probably going to be a hung jury. I would say that's the most likely outcome currently. It should be unanimous that they agree with this, but that's going to be really dependent on how well Trump's lawyers do
Right.
and kind of Trump's demeanor himself. I think that in this particular case, I think he's made his point. I think that now he needs to start trying to win over the jury, especially when his team is going to be presenting the case. Like I I understand he doesn't need to, and I don't want him to be going along with their thing, their constraints. But at
Right.
some point, it does work against you, and I think it already has. In one aspect was I believe they said they weren't going to give them the witness lists. They were only going to give them the next witness they were going to call because of whatever he was saying. So in that regard, but then that's dirty tactics. I mean, they still even said, like I said, what the second crime is.
Right.
So it's it's shady. It sucks, but I hope that they're kind of playing things out. And what we saw from his statements yesterday, I haven't seen what he said today. I just ran out of time to show it. If you want to show it later, what he said after the trial today. Do you have the clip? I can bring it up
Yeah,
at
if you
some
want to
point.
grab it, we'll do sponsors, and then if you want to grab it, we could play it after sponsors if that works for you.
Right. So I mean, from yesterday we talked about it on the show with TN as well,
Mhm.
that he's saying all the things that I was saying. Like I'm assuming that if he's saying these, his lawyers know these things too.
Well, they
So
clearly watch your
I
show,
think that
and that's where they're getting it. I mean, there's no other explanation, right?
the what?
I said they clearly watch your show, and that's
Oh well,
what.
yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I just think that it's great that everyone's arriving at those kinds of conclusions. And I also mentioned that yesterday as well, that you don't have to have some sort of press release or some 4 a.m. talking points that go out emailed every day. Everyone, it's everyone can see it. And if we can see it that easily and be cohesive like that, then the average person has to be seeing something. They have to be seeing something.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You're telling me, Pinata, you don't get your 4 a.m. talking points straight from the Kremlin like I do? Because Putin sends me a personalized email every day with
No,
what's
I
up
get mine
to
from
talk
Orban.
about.
I get mine from Victor Orban.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. All right, man. Well, go ahead and take care of you said you had to let your dog out, so go ahead and do that. I'll take care of the sponsors. We'll come back and we'll listen to what Donald Trump had to say after day 2 here, or day 3, whatever day we're on of this absolute shit show. It's Tuesday, right? It's only day 2. Why does it feel like he's been on trial for a month already? And I know what Pinata was talking about too. I saw some of the Daily Show clips where he was mocking the media for how breathlessly they're covering like just some of the most nonsensical stuff. I mean, hyperventilating over the posture Donald Trump is sitting in his chair, or the way that the courtroom artist is depicting him, or just his movement from like to and from the courtroom. Like they're reporting on it as if it's a high-speed car chase about to add in or about to end in some kind of carnage. It's quite entertaining. Anyway, we do have some amazing sponsors as always on this broadcast, so let's take care of those guys. Starting with Earth Garden Botanicals at earthgardenbotanicals.com. We love this company. They've been with us for years now. Jolene runs this company. She's an herbalist and a health coach. She makes these wonderful wellness products up in Montana. I tell you what, they are extremely high quality. The white pine needle extract is the latest product that she's created. It's a concentrate version of the sunshine and pine needle tea made to help you detox the body. Great to have in the medicine cabinet. And I've been kind of pitching that alongside the elderberry tonic lately because I feel like the combination of the two could be could really help nip any oncoming cold or virus right in the bud. The elderberry tonic boosts your immune system. The white pine needle extract is really good for detoxing. So between the two, I feel like it give your body a little head start in dealing with anything you might be coming down with. You got to check out the CBD products as well. All of the CBD and hemp products are the ingredients for them are locally and organically grown on small Montana farms. The tinctures are unbelievable. They taste amazing. Orange ginger bergamot, huckleberry, cinnamon bliss, peppermint, cherry, even the unflavored is very good. So go check out the CBD oil tinctures, the CBD oil for pets. You got your Delta 8 R&R nighttime gummies to help you get a good night's sleep. And of course, the arnica salve as well, the topical cream for your sore joints and muscles with or without CBD infused into it. I mentioned the sunshine and pine needle tea. There's a few other tea blends here to choose from as well. So if you enjoy a good cup of tea, check out all of those. And then the critter juice, with the summer coming on and the mosquitoes out and about, it's a great time to load up on some critter juice, the all natural insect repellent. Again, this is probably my favorite product Jolene makes, because it's changed the game for me during the summer. I used to get absolutely eaten alive by mosquitoes anytime I go outside. I don't know what it is about me. They find me and they bite the shit out of me. But this stuff has been a revelation. I take it with me everywhere. Golf course, working outside, anything at all that I do, even just going on a walk around the neighborhood, get a little exercise. I spray a little on to make sure I don't get bit. All of these products are available for 10% off using promo code 412 at checkout. So go check out earthgardenbotanicals.com, load up a cart, use that promo code, and enjoy. And then our other sponsor today is another longtime sponsor of the show, Diamond Soap Co. DiamondSoapCo.com. America first as it gets are these guys. They are family and veteran owned and operated. Harold and Laura are both Air Force Intel vets. They've been married over 30 years. They make all their soaps and body butters handmade here in the United States. They use organic, all natural ingredients to create them. They smell fantastic. All the different scents are incredible. You guys know my favorites by now. The Kentucky Bourbon and the Bonfire are my favorites, but I've grown to really enjoy many of these, like the Sweet Almond, the Cedar Amber. The Island Escape is tropical and fresh. You got your Green Tea Cucumber, which is energetic and super refreshing. Frankincense and Myrrh, shout out to Lance for inspiring that one. T.N. Homesteader, who's not here today, but he was his idea to make a plumeria. You got lemongrass, all kind of stuff. You go to the hand soap section here, you'll see just a ton of different of different scents, everything from fruity to floral to everything else over there. Load up. In fact, get some body butter too. The body butter is really great also. I actually used some last night. I was super itchy. My legs were super like dried out and itchy. I put just a little bit of the body butter on and it offered like instant relief. So go check out diamondsoapco.com. We got a great promo code over there too. Promo code 412 gets you 17% off your order. So yeah, vote with your dollar, guys. This is a great way to stop buying soap and whatnot from Johnson & Johnson or Procter & Gamble or Walmart or any of those, major corporations that really don't have your best interest at mind. This is a small America first mom and pop shop business that would absolutely love your support. So go again, diamondsoapco.com, promo code 412, 17% off your order. Go take advantage today. There you go. Wonderful, wonderful sponsors today. Guys, please, wherever you're watching, hit that like button and share the link to the fam on pilled.net. Please hit that red pill button and repost the show if you haven't already done so. Really appreciate you guys doing that. Those of you guys watching on the other platforms, I really appreciate you all being here and just want to let you know that at the halfway point at about 5 till the top of the 5 o'clock hour, we start to move over to pilled.net exclusively. And today we're going to have Craig Mason of Reasonable TV joining us for his monthly interview on the show. That's going to be available exclusively on pilled.net. So if you want to check that out, use the link in the video description on Rumble. We've got the links to the show there. I'll put it in the live chats on DLive and Rumble as well to make it super easy. And I'll remind you guys again when we get closer to that point in the show. Like I said, we're going to hang out here for at least another half hour. We're hanging out everywhere for at least another half hour or so. But if you want to see Craig Mason and hear what he's got going on, I recommend you go and check out pilled.net. It's a wonderful free speech platform built from the ground up by patriots. No big tech infrastructure or corporate influence. It is as grassroots and honest as it gets when it comes to holding those free speech values dear. So there you go. Drunk Pinata, do you have that clip lined up?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So this is Trump outside of the trial today as they wrapped up.
Group, it looks like he is. Let's listen.
Can't even allow articles to be put in. As an example, these are articles that were over the last day and a half. They're very good articles. They say the case is a sham and it shouldn't even be tried. It shouldn't have been submitted. And I don't even know if you're allowed to put them in. We have a gag order. which to me is totally unconstitutional. I'm not allowed to talk, but people are allowed to talk about me. So they can talk about me, they can say whatever they want, they can lie, but I'm not allowed to say anything. I just have to sit back and look at why a conflicted judge has ordered me to have a gag order. I don't think anybody's ever seen anything like this. I'd love to talk to you people. I'd love to say everything that's on my mind, but I'm restricted because
I apologize for the audio. That's on their clip. That's not on our end.
I have a gag order. And I'm not sure that anybody's ever seen anything like this before. And even having to do with articles, somebody writes an article. If I read every one of these articles incomplete, I read some of it and I'll look at headlines, all good headlines, and the case is a sham. But I can't read the whole thing. I'd be reading, this is like reading a novel. So I put an article in, and then somebody's name is mentioned somewhere deep in the article, and I end up in violation of a gag order. I think it's a disgrace. It's totally unconstitutional. I don't believe it's never, not to this extent, ever happened before. I'm not allowed to defend myself, and yet other people are allowed to say whatever they want about me. Very, very unfair. Having to do with the schools and the closings, that's Biden's fault. And by the way, this trial is all Biden. You know, this is all Biden, just in case anybody has any question. And they're keeping me in a courtroom that's freezing, by the way, in a courtroom all day long. Well, he's out campaigning. That's probably an advantage because he can't campaign. Nobody knows what he's doing. He can't put two sentences together. But he's out campaigning. He's out campaigning, and I'm here in a courtroom, sitting here, sitting up as straight as I can all day long, because you know what? It's a very unfair situation. So we're locked up in a courtroom, and this guy's out there campaigning. If you call it a campaign, every time he opens his mouth, he gets himself into trouble. So that's the story. I have an unconstitutional gag order by a highly conflicted judge that should recuse himself. Very simple. On the schools, should have never happened. What's going on in this country now should have never happened. But of course, the Ukraine war would have never happened. The Israeli attack would have never happened. Inflation would have never happened. We have the worst president in the history of our country, and he's the one that has us in all these different lawsuits. Thank you very much.
Really?
I mean, what else can you say? I mean, he kind of calls it out like it is. It's 100% Biden, the coordination with the White House to keep Donald Trump off the campaign trail to assist Joe Biden's reelection bid. Is very obvious. It's the judge at the gag order, unconstitutionally taking away his First Amendment right, while he allows other people to say whatever they want about him. I mean, it's just a completely rigged situation. The playing field here is not fair at all. And he's going to continue to harp on that. I don't think he's going to stop. But I do see your point, Pinata, though, about how at some point he needs to focus on winning over the jury, or at least one member of the jury. I think a hung jury in this case would be absolutely devastating, right? Because it would restart the trial and kind of throw off the timeline for everything else they're trying to do before the election.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think it's heading towards that. I don't think you're going to have a unanimous. I just don't think you can get it in New York. But if they do a good job, and they're actually willing to look at what the actual part of this is. I mean, the only thing the prosecution has to confuse them with, outside of the buzzwords that we talked about at the opening of the show, is that Michael Cohen pled guilty to this as an illegal campaign contribution. But he didn't need to, because he didn't give it to the campaign. It wasn't even an in-kind donation. If you actually look at the FEC, what they consider an in-kind donation, it is if it's services that would have been rendered that you're donating that would have been paid by the campaign. But this is not that, because he would have paid it, or he would have done this outside of the campaign.
Right.
So there's, so
Yeah, so there's really no leg to stand on here. Again, like you said, it's just gonna come down to whether or not Trump's lawyers are able to get that point across to the jury, and if the jury wants to hear it or not. Again, I have my doubts about, the way this jury was selected and who they put on it. Now I don't know the situation for all 12 of them, but we saw Jesse Waters talking about the first 7 that were confirmed, and it wasn't promising. You looked at the news sources where they get their news, and I didn't see a single Breitbart or the Federalist or the Gateway Pundit or even the Epoch Times or anything like that.
Well, the best you got was juror number, I think I can't remember the number, um, who had said Truth Social was one of the only places they got their news.
Oh, was there one that said Truth Social?
Yep. And it didn't say MSNBC, CNN, or any other ones. It only said Truth Social.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe that's your silver bullet right there.
Well, and
Or,
I
or
wouldn't
he's-
put it past them to want to have a hung jury so that they can have their repeat of the summer of destruction like they had in 2020.
if it's a hung jury, it's not like the case is dismissed, right? Or like,
Apparently, they can try it again, but
okay,
they don't have. But as you pointed out, they probably wouldn't have enough time. I mean, they would probably try to do it. It
yeah,
would be, but by that point, you've already not proven your case.
right,
So, and then you've already prejudiced your next jury pool by losing.
right. Yeah, I wonder what they would do in that situation if they would try to go at him again or just take the L and move on.
I think they would. I think they would. It just depends on what they have going. If they have the Judge Eileen Cannon case with the documents, maybe they wouldn't, but they would have it just waiting to say, "Oh, we're going to be charging him in on November 6th. We're going to charge
Right,
him. After the election. Are you still sure you want to vote for him? We're going to charge him again. We're going to have another trial again, and this one's not federal. Are you sure you want to have a felon? It's very clear. There's 2 things that they're trying to do: take Trump Tower and call him a felon. That's it. That's what they're trying to do. That is the 2020 election strategy for the Democrats.
yeah, yeah, it would appear so. Hold on, someone in chat, let it grow. And good to see it out there. Let it grow. Says he was dismissed, wasn't he? Talking about the Truth Social juror. I don't know.
I don't know. It's been a couple days since I saw what I saw. I
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if he was.
yeah. I don't know if anyone has any sauce on that. Definitive sauce that juror was dismissed. Then yeah, let us know. You can throw a link in the chat, or if you want to email it to me, you can 412patriot@protonmail.com. I'll open up my email over here and keep an eye out for anything that pops in regarding that. But yeah, I don't know. The last thing I really saw and heard about the jury was what Jesse Waters was saying on that little Fox News clip that we had watched. So I don't know if I don't know any other updates other than that. So yeah, like I said, if anyone does have any sauce on that guy, whether he's in or out, I think that'd be pretty interesting. So there you go. All right. Maxon says, well, then take the House and make legislation that someone convicted of a felony can't be POTUS. 412 Productions or something like that. They would try to, because the House would get sworn in before Donald Trump would next year. So if Donald Trump won the election, let's say, and again, I don't see it happening this way. I think it'd be really odd if he won the election but lost the House. That wouldn't make really a lot of sense to me. But if that happened to be the case, and you got the Senate to go along with it too, I suppose you could get a bill passed and signed into law to prevent him from being sworn in. Again, I feel like that's unlikely though. It's just my like if Donald Trump's going to win this election, I think that the House and Senate are also going to fall in the same direction. That's just the way I see it going. It's kind of a winner take all situation here. At least that's how I'm reading it. But maybe there will be some weird down ballot shifting going on. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, they've already introduced legislation, or they want to introduce legislation to keep him out of office. Something about the insurrection, right? Anyone guilty of an insurrection or whatnot can't hold office. I don't see it happening either. I just think it's part of their Hail Mary strategy because they know they can't beat them. Yeah, they have a lot of Hail Mary strategies. That's about all they're left with at this point because they are down. They are down by many scores late in the game here. So yeah, they're just kind of chucking things down the field to see what sticks. All right. Anything else on the trial, Pinata, that we should cover? I don't really have anything on the trial today. I haven't followed anything that's come out today or been talked about today when it comes to the trial. So is there anything else we should be aware of or know about?
No, I think we covered it. They're still running with this whole, the National Enquirer is somehow picking and choosing the president based upon negative stories that are not run, and so that and this whole thing of the public has a right to know derogatory information. So it's just
People read the National Enquirer. That's a tabloid, isn't it?
Yes.
You're like in line at the grocery store and you see Bat Boy and like interdimensional beings and all kind of weird shit on there.
Yeah,
Like,
and then Bill Clinton had a affair with an alien.
and this is there. Who's claiming that this is having a tangible effect
Well,
on?
they claim that because it's in the supermarkets and every single Walmart across the country, that that would have had enough headline real estate, or they had enough real estate that these headlines that would have been negative towards Trump, had they published the stories as opposed to burying them, would have influenced the election.
That's wonderful.
So they're saying that it's election interference and that it's a criminal conspiracy to corruptly influence the election.
That's amazing.
And now do the Hunter Biden laptop, but they won't.
Yeah, so funny. All you can do is laugh at this shit sometimes, man. It's so ridiculous. The National Enquirer, they're the culprit now.
They had more of an influence. They had more influence than Russia, don't you know?
Is that right? Maybe
That's
I
the way
should.
that's the way they're drawing it up. They're drawing it up as that, well, we'll never know what this could have done, but we definitely know it influenced the election, but we don't know because it didn't influence the election because it didn't come out, but it influenced the election because it didn't come out. Okay, well, pick one. That's like they keep trying to, they go back and forth in this. It's the same kind of fence setting that they always do. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to articulate that because I don't know really. It's like they create these things of like a choose your own adventure. They're essentially incomplete thoughts. Maybe I'm doing it now in real time. There's like incomplete narratives that trail off, and then they kind of pick back up through a wormhole into where the other one was failing in logic, and it picks up. And a lot of this can be with like the January 6th narratives that they were going through. He wanted a coup. He was going to use the military, but he asked for the military and they turned it down. So, but he had a month-long scheme to have alternative slates of electors, but decided that was a bad choice, and then instead sent the mob to the Capitol to kill everybody and hang Mike Pence, right? So see what I'm saying? Like they're disjointed, but when they're talking about whichever one or avenue they're trying to talk about, they try to make it into a complete thing around those circumstances for that situation for those talking points, and they, you know what I mean, like they weave these different tapestries. They're incomplete, but they can jump from one to the next, and it's kind of what they're doing here. where, well, we don't know if it would have influenced the election. Oh, it definitely did influence the election, and it was worse than what Russia did, or whatever they supposedly say that Russia did to influence the election. So it's, you see what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe that's the best way I can describe it at the moment. Is it's a tapestry of incomplete narratives that have wormholes that they can go through whenever they need to bend the logic. They just jump to the next one, and it's just incoherent, and it's just, there really is no pattern to it. It's just incoherent.
Just woven together using the fear, ignorance, and hatred of the
Yeah,
TDS.
and I think that's part of what it is they'll jump to the next emotional trigger,
Yeah,
and then that way you forget about what they were just talking about, and they just jump to the next trigger of like, oh, he tried to end democracy, like in the January 6th example, right? So it's, oh, he was trying to do this, and then, oh, but no, now he's trying to end democracy. You know what I mean? I'm speaking sort of in pretty vague. I understand that, but like I said, I'm still trying to articulate that. But I think that's the closest I've gotten to trying to articulate it a little bit better than I had previously. So thank you for indulging me. Thank you for the audience as well for indulging me working through that in real time.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. Work through this shit in real time. No, it's good stuff though. And it's good imagery, as far as like the tapestry of different stories woven together with the fear and emotional triggers of their their audience full of mental midgets, essentially.
Wes Connellan says they're fence sitting so hard the post is halfway up their ass.
I like it. All right. You mentioned the Supreme Court with January 6th. I want to get a little bit more in depth into that. And thank you, Joe Elaine, for the cookie. I appreciate you throwing that our way. Supreme Court takes new step in January 6th case. The U.S. Supreme Court on April 23rd today directed the U.S. Department of Justice to reply to a man convicted in the January 6, 2021 breach of the U.S. Capitol. Justices said the department's response to Russell Alford is due May 23rd. Mr. Alford was convicted by a jury of 4 misdemeanor counts, but is challenging 2 of the charges, arguing that they don't apply to his conduct. The charges should not have been brought because the laws on which they raised that they're based barred disorderly and disruptive conduct in a Capitol building and in a restricted building. But Mr. Alford merely entered the Capitol and stood silently against the wall before exiting. The Supreme Court was told in a filing from Mr. Alford's lawyers. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan, an appointee of President Barack Obama, originally rejected Mr. Alford's request to dismiss the counts, finding that his mere presence inside the Capitol disturbed the public peace and undermine public safety. Now, keep in mind all of like the pro-Hamas demonstrations that have taken over different parts of the Capitol since, and the complete lack of accountability or consequence for those. So this gentleman walked in, maybe he shouldn't have been in there at all, and maybe that's fair, but being disruptive or violent or destructive certainly did not happen. If he just sat there leaning against the wall and then left, to charge him for disorderly conduct seems heavy-handed and unnecessary, in my opinion. A federal appeals court, after reviewing the rejection, upheld it in January. While Mr. Alford was neither violent nor destructive, a jury could rationally find that his unauthorized presence in the Capitol as part of an unruly mob contributed to the disruption of the Congress's electoral certification and jeopardized public safety, the ruling stated. The court should grant review because this case presents an important question of federal statutory interpretation. Mr. Alford's lawyers wrote to the Supreme Court, describing the appeals court ruling as establishing a slippery and countertextual standard for criminalizing conducts in settings for political activity. One of the laws, 18 U.S. 1752A2, bars people from knowingly and with intent to impede or disrupt the orderly conduct of government business or official functions, engages in disorderly or disruptive conduct in or within such proximity to any restricted building or grounds when or so that such conduct in fact impedes or disrupts the orderly conduct of government business or official functions. The other 40 USC 5014E2D makes it a crime to utter loud, threatening, or abusive language or engage in disorderly or disruptive conduct at any place in the grounds or in any of the Capitol buildings with the intent to impede, disrupt, or disturb the orderly conduct for a session of Congress or either House of Congress or the orderly conduct in that building of a hearing before or any deliberations of a committee of Congress or either House of Congress. So
So wait a
again,
minute, that one was from. This was the other one that they're using.
yeah. Well, and again, I think back, what really sticks in my brain, Pinata.
Kavanaugh.
I'm sure you remember the Kavanaugh confirmation hearings where you had people breaking into the chamber and screaming, "Stop Kavanaugh!" They had to be dragged out, at least a dozen of them, I feel like, by Capitol Police over and
Yeah,
over.
they had people like doing free bleeding and nasty shit.
Yeah. I wonder how many of those people faced years in jail for their behavior. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Something tells me they didn't, but maybe they did. Maybe the Justice Department, weaponized all of these different statutes against them or charged them with all these things. But I don't believe that was the case. The lower court rulings were wrong in part because they focused on the effects of Mr. Alford's conduct, not the nature of the conduct, according to the writ to justices. The focus collapses the conduct element into the harm element by giving the adjectives no apparent force. They argued later that merely being present is not disorderly conduct unless the presence is in defiance of an order to disperse.
Which they didn't give, because we know that that was a big part of what the Capitol Police did not do. They
Mhm.
didn't give the proper orders to disperse before they used the munitions that they did.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
There's actually I think there's 3 different specific warnings with a specific time in between, and with a specific amount of loudspeakers so that it's understandably that it was being heard and being dismissed in order to proceed to each next step.
Yeah, that's really important to understand because again, there's a entrapment nature to all of this. And if those orders to disperse were never properly given, that's a big deal when you're trying to charge somebody, especially a nonviolent person, someone that and I've said this before. Look, if you went there that day and you were punching a cop, breaking windows, tagging walls, threatening people, being violent and physically unruly, then yeah, maybe there's some consequences. There definitely, if you were assaulting somebody or destroying property, then yeah, definitely there's some legal consequences you should be facing. And I'm all for that. I'm not here to condone any violence or any destruction of property or anything like that. But there was a lot of people there that day that had no intention of harming a soul, had no intention of disrupting anything at all, had no intention of breaking anything at all. And they're all being lumped together in the same group. And that's they're doing that to create a political narrative. They're not in search of justice or holding people accountable. They want a number. They want to be able to say that they got so many people. They want to make this event seem as bad as possible. And the more people they can convict under these statutes that have all this language in them, the more it builds the narrative that day was something that it truly was not. So there's a political and a narrative driven desire to charge people with this. And again, it has nothing to do with punishment fitting the crime or equal justice under the law or any kind of due process or anything like that. They don't care. They don't really care. It's a matter of can they add your number? Can they add you as to their numbers and use that then to get the general public to believe something? And that's
I mean, they used that and they put that out there. That's not like speculation. they said as much, that they wanted to hit quotas
Yeah.
for the number of arrests.
Yeah.
And when they didn't meet it, what they wanted, they expanded it to be, oh, it's not just the Capitol building. Now it's expanding it out, expanding the fence.
Yeah. It's so fucked up. Let me read a bit more of this. It says, if the court grants the petition, it would review the case and decide if the rulings were appropriate. The Department of Justice's Solicitor General, Elizabeth Prelogar, told the court on April 12th that the government was waiving its right to file a response to the filing unless requested to do so by the court. The petition was distributed to justices on April 18th for their scheduled May 9th conference. Then on Tuesday, justices directed the Department of Justice to file a response to Mr. Alford. Lawyers for Mr. Alford and the government did not respond to requests for comment. If justices take up the petition and rule in favor of Mr. Alford, a number of other January 6 defendants and convicts could see charges thrown out. And then this is also, I don't think this is related to the 1512 2C or whatever the other one was, is it? I think this is something different here. Let me go back to the top of this and see what that first statute they mentioned was again, because I didn't recognize. Oh yeah, it is 15. Okay, this is it. 1752. I think that's the same one.
That's different. The other one was 1512C.
It was 1512. So this is two other statutes that they're inappropriately used.
So this must be what they're saying. So because they're looking at these other statutes as well as the other one, that means that more than likely that there might rule in who was it, Fisher, in his favor
right,
for
yeah.
the 1512C.
Interesting. So there's a lot that the Supreme Court is ultimately going to decide here in the coming weeks about the legal jeopardy of some of these people. And again, I can't stress this enough. There were people there that deserve to be arrested and face legal consequences. I would never argue that it was completely peaceful and everybody there did nothing wrong. But the vast majority of people there, like I said, weren't violent, had no violent intent, did not go there to destroy or hurt anything. They just wanted to have their voices heard. And there's a lot of innocent, good people that are having their lives, reputations, and livelihoods ripped to shreds in an attempt to create a political narrative against the America First movement. And that's not what our justice system is supposed to be about. That's not the way it's supposed to be used. And to Pinata's point, the fact that they've come out themselves and said that they're looking to fill quotas is really disturbing on this. Really, really disturbing. So we'll see what the Supreme Court does. Hopefully they come to the defense essentially of some of these nonviolent political prisoners being held by the Biden administration. So there you go on that. Let's see. Anything else I want to cover here in the first half of the show before we bring Craig Mason on? Let me see. I had a few little things. I guess I'll mention, where'd it go? I'll mention this. This won't take much time. But El Paso judge dismisses riot charges against the 140 illegal aliens and releases them from state custody. So you guys all saw this incredible footage of these illegal aliens overrunning. Here, I'll play it. I'm sure you guys all remember seeing this footage here, them being overrun. These people were all arrested. Apparently, a judge just dismissed all the charges against them. So you can see the systematic, they're allowing, like, what these people are doing here is far worse than what many of the people at the Capitol are being charged with doing. Yet these people are dismissed, no questions asked. Again, it's all about political narrative with these people. So
And you can probably argue that if they're trying to get these people legalized to vote, that is obviously undermining our democracy.
yep. Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. All right. It is 4:55. We are 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Craig Mason is going to be joining us in hour number 2, which will be exclusively on pilled.net, the home of free speech online. I'll put the link again in the Rumble live chat and the DLive live chat for you guys. It's also in the Rumble description beneath the stream. It's super easy to get there. Just click the link, it'll bring you right in. Or if you can't get to the link in the description or in the chat for whatever reason, it's really simple. Just go to pilled.net in your browser. Our channel is 412 Productions. You can hit the search button and type that in. We'll pop right up. Or look to the top of the screen on mobile, to the left of the screen on desktop. You'll see all of the thumbnails that are live or have upcoming streams. We are that black and gold thumbnail. All you got to do is click on it and you're in. You don't even need to make an account if you don't care to chat. It's very, very user friendly, and it's the interface is all updated and looking good. So please come join us over on pilled.net for hour number 2. Again, we got Craig Mason of Reasonable TV joining the broadcast. Very excited to catch up with him because we missed him in March. I don't think he was able to join in March, so we've got lots to talk about. So we'll play a little video here, and then we'll come back on the other side of that. We'll say goodbye to the other platforms and read your gold pill chats, anything that's come in here since the intro, and then we'll bring Craig up and get the second hour going over on Pilled. See you guys in just a minute.
Pilled.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pilled.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pilled.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pilled.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, we are back. Again, big thank you to everybody out there who does jump over to Pilled from our other platforms. I really appreciate it when you guys do that and hang out with us for the second hour. And again, it's real simple. Just go to pilled.net, find us at 412 Production, links in the Rumble description, Rumble live chat, and the DLive chat as well. So please come over and hang out with us. If you're not going to make it over, if this is where we say goodbye, no worries. We're back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow, we've got 45-1 Actual and the entire crew from the No Prisoners podcast going to be joining us. That should be an absolute party on our Wednesday broadcast. We really look forward to having all those guys in here on Thursday. We got Taking It Back with Frankie Val and Zach Payne, and then Friday we'll wrap up the week with the OG crew. And I think I got a text from Max and on earlier. I think Max is going to join us on Friday. I saw her in the chat. Obviously, we were reading some of her chats. Max, I didn't respond to your text, but yeah, Friday works perfectly. If you want to jump up here with the crew, we'd love to have you. So we got an absolutely jam-packed rest of the week, plus the Saturday morning chat at 10 a.m. on Saturday, music and phone calls, always a good time. So again, please come on over to pilled.net for the second half. Join myself, Pinata, and Craig Mason of Reasonable TV for a very reasonable hour number 2 of Deplorable Discussions. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody, except for my Pilled fam.